Have you ever gotten tired of libertarians who continually stand here and try to shame you and tell you you're racist and I mean, try to act like they're above everybody else? Yo, me too. Today, I clicked on a video from The World According to Briggs, and he started spouting off about how 80% of the population, it's their goal to eliminate racism and all this retarded nonsense, when the truth of the matter is, he's completely wrong about everything he says. And legitimately, he stands here and points out the problems that are caused by anti-racial legislation and the nonsense from the Civil Rights Act that ended up causing all the problems that we have today. This is the complete issue, and I really, just check this out, man. Just check this out.
What is going on, everyone? Let's take a look at one of the most depressing parts of life in the United States, and really the world: hate groups and racism. This is nothing new. People have been hating each other since we lived in caves. Eliminating hate has always been the goal of about 80% of us human beings. It's just that 20% that keep it going. That is a nice thought, though, eliminating hate. Sadly, it's an unrealistic dream. All we can do is try and educate people and hope for better times.
Now, this rhetoric and this nonsense would not be such an issue if legitimately he didn't stand here and have videos like this on his channel.
What is going on, everyone? How about we talk about neighborhoods that sane people try and avoid? On this channel, we've gone over the worst things about states, cities, towns, zip codes, airports, my cousin's wife, and other horrible places. We also did a few videos about bad neighborhoods in different cities, and people really seemed to like them. So I thought today we would just look at the country's worst neighborhoods. The harsh reality is we have some places in this country that probably should be vacated, fenced off, and forgotten about. What I love about these videos are the two type of people that comment on bad neighborhoods. The first are the people that say it isn't that bad and I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm not from there. The only thing I can say to that is stop typing, numbers don't lie. The second is the person that attempts to look hard and gain some street cred and take some sort of pride in being from here. Here's the thing, living in a really bad neighborhood isn't a good thing. If it was, the people who become successful from that neighborhood would actually stay there. They don't, and they rarely come back. A crappy neighborhood isn't something to be proud of. Doing something about that crappy neighborhood to make it better is. Wake up. Now, we can do a video series on this one, 2 or 3 at least, from all around the country. There's that many. Some of these neighborhoods are really close in the level that they suck. So this really won't be in a hardcore by the numbers order. I'm gonna do my best, see what we can do here. That being said, why don't you lock the front door, put a chair against it, set the alarm, and watch my top 10 worst neighborhoods in the United States. Number 10. Downtown Rockford, Illinois. Life in downtown Rockford is pretty dangerous. Violent crimes have been on the rise so much that any person in the area of downtown Rockford has a 1 in 13 chance of being involved in a crime every single day. This last October and November, it was a little busy in the downtown Rockford area. They had 3 pedestrians hit by cars, 2 people arrested for firing guns in the air, 4 people shot out in front of different bars, 1 man shot in front of his apartment, 1 man shot while sitting in his car on the phone. They had a couple of stabbings, and not too far from downtown in August, someone decided to fire shots at or around the Auburn High School football game. Good times in Rockford.
I wonder who he thinks lives in these type of places that he talks about on a regular basis.
Number 9. West End, Cincinnati, Ohio. West End, Cincinnati is not where you want to be. Ever. The main streets of this area look nice and promising. However, once you get into the more residential parts, that's where you start to see garbage in the streets and, boarded up windows, abandoned homes, dogs missing legs and eye patches, and broken down fences. All the things that are what you'd see in a really bad movie about a bad neighborhood. It's going on here in West End, Cincinnati. It's no surprise that while in this neighborhood, you have a 1 in 12 chance of being involved in a crime. 2 nights ago, 3 men were shot and 1 died early Sunday morning. This was all on the West End, Cincinnati. Cincinnati police say the first one happened on Court and Central Avenue. According to the police, the victim took himself to the hospital but was gone before they arrived. Then on Finley Street, they found an SUV that was all shot up. Inside, they had a man who had sprung some holes recently and now was deceased. They also had tracks showing that someone else that was in the vehicle had sprung some holes also, but had left. What is the deal with people leaving the scene of these things when they've been shot up? If you shoot me, I'm sticking around for some help. Well, I mean, unless someone's still shooting, then maybe I'm gonna, beat feet, but still. You know what I mean. Number 8, West Jeffries Freeway and Seabolt Street, Detroit, Michigan. This neighborhood is not a good one to get turned around in. Lost, whatever. The crime rate here is 140% higher than the national average, with around 60 reported crimes daily in this neighborhood alone. It doesn't seem to be letting up anytime soon. The year-over-year increase in crime is about 13%. In other words, this place isn't much safer than a lot of war zones. You can get any one of these 3 gems for just under $30,000 each. Oh, look, at least someone took the trash to the curb. Now if they could just find an armored trash truck, someone might pick it up.
So I know a lot of y'all might not have heard me standing here talking about like how Ohio, I think, was in a war that nobody decided to tell us about. But the truth is that like the deindustrialization of America stood here and hit black people the worst out of everybody. Basically everyone in the Rust Belt, for the most part, it was black people that affected the worst. And the reason is because of the fact that they had just suffered through integration. And integration was a horrible thing for black people in America, believe it or not. Let me let a black person explain this to you.
Where liberal or Democrat Republican politics has really significantly changed the lives of black people. The only good example I can think of would be the civil rights movement, which actually has been questioned in terms of what it actually did and did not do for black people. There are people that question the civil rights movement now because they actually were learning. They started learning. A lot of you didn't learn this until you got older. You started learning about all the businesses you had that are now gone. You started learning about all the institutions you had in your community that are now gone. You started learning about all the communities you had as opposed to neighborhoods that are now gone. You started learning about how your children were being educated at an excellent level before integration, and that's all gone. Right now, your kids are 18, 20 years old, can't hardly read, right? Because you wanted to go to their schools, you wanted to go work for their companies, you wanted to go spend your money at their businesses instead of your own, and you want to basically fit into whatever they had going on as opposed to continuing to build what you have going on. You see, energy is neither created nor destroyed, but if you apply energy to the east, it's hard to apply that same energy to the west. So that means that if I'm putting my energy over here, if I have 10 hours in a day and I put 9 hours of that work over here, then I can't put any time over there. I'm gonna put 1 hour over there. Well, if I'm putting 9 hours of work into this project over here and 1 hour of work into that project over there, which project is going to be more successful? Which project is going to succeed, right? So we're putting 9 hours of work into building the white man's business and 1 hour of work into building your own. So then you wonder why you ain't got no goddamn business.
All right. So as we stood here and, destroyed all the black businesses, we also sat here and shipped most of our jobs overseas. And the reason why this is a problem, all right, and I know there's a lot of capitalists out here and individuals who think, oh, free trade is good. Truth of the matter is free trade is not good for your population, especially when you have a lower class of individuals inside of your country who really relies on these manufacturing jobs to be able to keep peace in these type of neighborhoods while they're trying to build wealth after years of actual inequality, right? And I'm talking about after slavery, after, the Reconstruction in the South, all these things. Black people came up north to enjoy the industrialization and started building businesses and building neighborhoods and building communities and having the opportunity to do these type of things on their own. And they were locked out of a lot of white places, which, believe it or not, was a very good thing for them because it allowed them to do things for themselves and stand here and take care of themselves and become a well-knit community that was actually pretty cohesive and allowed for family growth and allowed for social stability and things of this nature. But once you stood here and took away the ability of these individuals to stand here and have the chance to build their own businesses and build their own communities and have their own families, and when you had the black, single motherhood rate rise up to, what is it now, almost 80%, things ended up being destroyed and just falling down. This tends to happen from time to time when, you think that you should just allow a population to just be on its own. Now, there's there's a better way of doing this, right? It's called autocracy. It's also called mercantilism. And I know that like these things are basically no words in the words of economists, but the truth of the matter is, like, the reason why America became as great as what it did is because of the fact that we stood here and we did put tariffs up, and we did stand here and build our businesses to be able to have an opportunity to be successful. It's kind of like when you take a person who hasn't boxed their whole life, and you know what I mean, like, yo, they go, all right, I want to box now, I'm like 18 or 19. Go, well, now you got to learn all the basics, right? And the guys who are already 18, 19 boxing, like, they're competing in the Olympics, or they're standing here like actual competitors and whatnot. And these individuals here will knock you the fuck out. So you don't put your fighter up against these guys, you protect him, right? And this is an important point to understand, all right? This all comes from an ideology from a guy named Friedrich List, right? And it's something that a lot of people aren't taught. It's what China has done. It's what China is doing, right? It's what a lot of these countries have done throughout the years to allow them to become successful before they compete, you know what I'm saying, inside of everybody else's arena. And we didn't do this, you know what I'm saying, with the populations that were inside of America that were not really treated as full-fledged members of the society. This is kind of an issue. White women just don't count for y'all, because let's be honest here, all right? Legitimately, every upper class white woman was well educated long before, you know what I'm saying, the common white man was, all right? So there's a reason why, like, most of the feminist movement came from the upper crust of the white the white people, right? The aristocrats of these type of individuals, all right? It's because of the fact that you were already literate, you were already educated. So don't stand here and give me no fucking nonsense about that. The truth of the matter is that, like, you stood here and allowed white individuals to have these tariffs up to be able to stand here and have a chance to build their industry out to become successful, right? But like, when black people stood here and tried to do it, you sat here and folded them into white communities and kind of destroyed their opportunities to become whatever they were going to become. This is about social evolution, and it's something that individuals don't talk about, right? So, you know, I mean, let's think about what exactly we're doing here. Let me let What If Altus stand here and kind of explain this to you real quick.
Complicated in that it works well under some circumstances and not under others. Take protective tariffs. 19th century America had large tariffs to protect its developing industries from established ones in Europe. This turned out to be a really good idea, as America was able to develop a really powerful industry that it was able to conquer the world with in the 20th century.
So I guess what I'm saying is that if you want real equality, if you want real actual freedom, if you want real building up of the black community, if you really want these type of things, there's a way to do it, right? But if you want to continue to have, you know what I'm saying, black men die, if you want to continue to have the massive amounts of social upheaval that we're having right now, let's keep doing what we're doing. You know what I mean? Because, like, legitimately, I don't think this is working. All right. And I know that all you military people out there, you know what I'm saying, all you individuals who are educated in the academic system that we have, we're told that, you know what I'm saying, everybody's equal and we're all the same. And that's just not fucking true. All right. Legitimately, because if you came from a neighborhood that looked like this, legit, you would have a very, very hard time even being around individuals who came from the suburbs or a nice neighborhood. You were literally different animals at that fucking point. And it just is what it is. As somebody who thought that anyone who had a house that wasn't attached to somebody else's growing up was a millionaire, I'm gonna tell you like this, it's very, very difficult for me to be able to stand here and have some basic conversations with normal white people from the suburbs and nice neighborhoods and full-fledged, like, actual families. You know, it just is what it is. Yo, look, I'm Tom Pease with Pnoid News. Y'all know the deal. Like, share, and subscribe. If you want more of this content, peace be like one. Later.